Jack it is. How you doing? And I'm doing a video about mixed race people and versus quote black people in the United States. I say quote there's no such thing as a pure black person if they're from the United States. And this is a big deception going on. Okay, and I want to educate y'all in the African American descendant community, because there's a descendant about African descendant the community. We were always taught that there was a rule back in the slavery days. If you had one drop of black blood in you, you was pure black. And thank God, when I was 20 years ago, I did research about this, and I found out it was a slave master's rule. What happened is that many of us are mixed, like we come in different shades. Like this is not Donald Dog chocolate, this is caramel. Okay, the reason why that rule existed is because back in the day, during slavery days, that if a slave master wanted more slaves, instead of going to the slave uh, quarters, I mean, excuse me, the auctions, excuse me, slave auctions, he will rape or either have seduced a slave because there were relationships like Thomas Jefferson's situation, okay, inside him and Queen from Alice Haley, okay. They will sleep with a slave that's partially black or that's pure black. And when the slave came out, this law was at one period at the time, whoever the mother of the slave is the same status of the child. Meaning that if a woman who's a slave, she have a child, that child cannot be free. Let's say the master let him be free, let him or her be free, whatever the child come, what gender the child is. So that's why they had that rule, and it came out later on. Be if you have one drop of black blood, makes you whole, and that meaning it started in the Jim Crow days. So during Jim Crow days, because so much mixing had happened, because the slave master had so many slaves of different shades and colors and hair textures, they didn't look like 100% motherland Africa. Um, Question was that who was black and who was white. If someone looked white and had black blood, quote black ancestry in them, would it be classified as white? Well, many white people was afraid at the time that their DNA was going to be tainted, like Brazil, okay? And I mean, it already been mixed, but they was afraid, they'll be minority, okay? And they will not be the majority anymore, which is why they advocate they want more race mixing, okay? Like the Ku Klux Klan neo-Nazis do today. And they are the minority, is that, white people are the minority of pure, if there's such thing too. Okay, I even question that as well. But we know within the African American descendant community, since we're mixed, that there's such thing as pure black. It's just claiming to be pure black for society. That became a law in segregation days because they was afraid. That's why they had separate, trains and all other stuff. And that's why, for example, when they had a patient versus Ferguson, a Creole man, I mixed with Creole, part of my roots, he looked like a white man in a way, and he was in the white part of the train, and he lost his case. Concerning the segregation laws, Jim Crow laws. So let me give you a history lesson. So that's why we have different shades and hair textures. Not everybody look like Akon in our community. I mean, I might have big lips, wide nose, and actually extremely curly, which is known as kinky hair. But my skin tone is not dark brown chocolate like Akon, like Ethan Yogo, either like a lead wig. You know what I'm saying? Who are Africans, true Africans. Okay, so point is, that's the whole reason why I'm making this video, is that I get a lot of people come on my channel saying, "Oh, you're not mixed and you don't look mixed," and I'm like, "Excuse me, once again, I do not look like Akon. I'm dark. I'm not dark brown skin. I'm Cameron. I'm a lighter brown shade. I'm not too light, but you know what I'm talking about, okay?" And then I have to explain it to people and advocate that because they try to ignore that on purpose. I know they're doing it on purpose. So I never consider, even as a child, never consider myself a pure, but I always knew that I was mixed with something. And until 30 years ago, when I was 6, I'm 36 now, I'll be 37 this year, my dad told me about my Native American roots. And then on, as I got older, I heard about the French part. Then I got on my dad's side, grandfather's side. Then I got older, I started to acknowledge that, along with the English part, my grandmother's side, my dad's side as well. She had English in her family and her roots and ancestry. And then I found out my mom, because I was on my mom's side, that they had white and Indian Native American later on. I started acknowledging that. My great grandfather on my mother's side still lived. He'd be 97 this year. My grandma, my maternal grandmother's father, they call him Grandpa Red, because he had, of course, French and Native American, white, besides black in him. Okay. He about my shade now, but he used to be real light when he was younger. So Anyway, but I always acknowledge myself as a multiracial person because I have different races in me. I don't have 100% black. Regardless, it's more, less. I don't go by point this, whatever's in you is who you are because if it wasn't there, you wouldn't be here, right? And there are people in the African multiracial community. Well, let me go back to the one drop rule. So after the Civil Rights Bill was signed in 1964, due to the Martin King Civil Rights Movement and LBJ, the president, signed the bill. There was the movement, the Black National Movement, that had a rise and got big at the time. It was started out of the 30s. Okay, it was actually the 30s and 20s with Marcus Garvey. Then their own Nation Islam with Elijah Muhammad and Fraud, Fraud, Muhammad, whatever they called him, Wallace Fraud, whatever, who founded it, who looked almost like a dark haired white man, thought he was Mexican. And when he was locked up, they thought that he was pure white, and he put him in California, less as white, and he put him as Negro, okay? He was mixed, and Elijah Muhammad was a light shade as well. Then they had Malcolm X, who was light shade. His grandfather was white, his dead mother's side. So anyway, the Black National Movement advocated pure black identity, one drop rule, black separatism, and all the other stuff, and hating the white man. White man was the devil, and all the other stuff. And those movements, because Martin King was not for that, those movements clashed. They Malcolm X, before he went to Mecca and left the Nation Islam, which is a video saying he did not get killed by nations. That's a doggone lie. They did, regardless if the government got involved, well, we'll put it together. Maybe the government and Nation Islam got involved and killed him. You know what I'm saying? Because Elijah Muhammad did not like the fact that he exposed his business sleep with them yellow bone teenage girls. Okay, he was in Nation Islam. Okay, let's get, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, go back to the story. Point is, when he was with the nation, he called the civil rights leaders Uncle Toms and house Negroes, house niggas and stuff. Okay, and he was talking about Martin King and all that. Who was civil rights who did not believe in that movement. Okay, the Black Power, Black Nationalist movement, Black Panthers came in that as well. In the civil rights movement was two clashes, and sometimes they try to resolve. Like for example, Martin King was a peacemaker, and he was trying to resolve issues. Of course, he believed in being proud of your black roots, even though we're not pure black, and he wasn't either. He was Irish Native American and black, should I say. Grandmother was Irish. I found later on in years where Martin King's maternal grandmother was. Remember, Irish were not considered white at one period of time, and so was Italians. Anyway, so finally later on, before saying that before Malcolm was killed and before he went to Mecca, he criticized civil rights leaders, okay, who was marching and asking for integration. And many black nationalists did not want to, and always ask that question: why go to Africa if you don't want to be integrated here? No one never go to Africa. They go visit, but they don't stay there. It's formerly known as Study Carmichael did. Well, when the Civil Rights Movement was built, was signed, and segregation ended, legal segregation ended. Okay, there was a couple who was interracial. One was African American and Native American, who was classified as black as a one drop rule. Mildred Loving and her white husband, Richard Loving. They got arrested for getting married, which they got married in Washington D.C., which is legalized to marry interracially. But to go to Virginia, you couldn't do that. And they lived in a town that was very integrated. It was a small town, yes, it was integrated time during Jim Crow. Okay, that's how they met each other and got married. They got into legal trouble and they had to be forced out of Virginia. And they during the time when they tried to go visit their family, only got arrested again, and they escaped from the police and stayed in Washington D.C. Because I watched that movie with Lee Rashad back in 1996, 20 years ago. The Loving, Loving Sword. Okay. Anyway, supposed to know that when they legalized interracial marriages in 1967, in June 1967, they also outlawed the one drop rule because the Supreme Court found it unconstitutional. But within the African Americans in the community and white racist community as well, the one drop rule still remain in people's head. That's why you see, like in the many celebrities, the different shades, hair textures, all that other stuff. And if you know Africans from Africa who are not mixed, even the ones who are not mixed are Arabian, you would know that that's not pure black. You know that, right? Not many people are very uneducated. One drop rule really brainwash people that anybody that's perceived as black, perceived, not truly is, That's pure black. So, so what happened is over the years the multiracial was started in the 70s, but it wasn't as big. If you was claiming even you did have a white parent or a non-black parent, and you had other parent had black in them shots said it wasn't pure black, you'd be ostracized if you call yourself a mixed race person. You had to go along and say you was black at the time. So during the 90s when I came up, because I'm a '79 baby, and we heard about the multiracial movement. Many of us jumped on the movement. Many of us talk shows were talking about Oprah. Oh man, I'm serious. I'm a couch potato. So I was watching Oprah, Sally. Everybody was talking about this multiracial stuff. Multiracial celebrities like Slash and Tyson Belford, Tiger Woods, Mariah Carey, even Miss Universe of 1995, Chelsea Smith, who's from Texas. Hello, she won. She announced that she's multiracial. Well, a lot of folks started to advocate this movement, and there was many people in African American community still hold on to this one drop rule to this day, and still think it's a rule when it's not. And I never forget when it's going to put a multiracial category on the census, and I was for that. I remember checking multiracial on my ACT test. I checked other on the AST test, and checked multiracial on the ACT test since 1997. The civil rights movements, civil rights groups like Nation Islam, and don't forget, no Nation Islam, excuse me, sorry, Nation Islam, NAACP, and don't forget, Mitchell Chavez, the light-skinned guy who was part of the chairman at that time, joined the Nation Islam. Remember, because the Nation Islam and NAACP did not see eye to eye over the years, okay? Um, you can even go with Marcus Garvey and W. Du Bois. They did not get along, you know what I'm saying? And even Marcus Garvey tried to get Ku Klux Klan to kill the NAACP. Okay, folks will deny that, but that's not a lot. That's true. He did. So, because we know about race mixing and people in race in the race was mixed and all that other stuff. So, as that happened during the 90s, that ideology started to come in amongst the members of the NAACP. Okay, because Benjamin Chavis left the NAACP and joined, and he was a Methodist minister, and became, friends with Farrakhan and then Millman March, and that's when they had that situation going on. Um, so the civil rights movement, even La Raza, the Council of Raza, LULAC, and all the, it's shocking because Latinos are racially mixed. Okay, minimal Afro mestizos. You had Asian, Lee and AIM, American Indian Movement, they all joined in to stop the multiracial movement, having a multiracial category on the census. And many of us was checking one box in 2000 because that's when the census decided, okay, we will allow you to check one box. I remember checking one box for the first time on the census in 2000. Um, well, over the years, and then the multiracial movement kind of died out, and you have multiracial people still, some who come from so-called first generation mixing, because I'm multi-generational mixing. That's first, so-called first generational. If I was pure black and let's say that my girlfriend or wife was pure white or something, that's first generational because nobody in our family background is mixed. But first time. But if I have someone that's in my background that already mixed before, that's multi-generational because mixed race people cannot produce pure race children if they're going to have a child with a multiracial person. Okay, so that's when we have this thing going on within the African American community and the multiracial community that people are advocating and fighting amongst each other. The mixed race people stuck up. But I always tell the mixed race people, excuse me, those so-called black people only claim here because society wants them to. They know deep in their hearts they are not 100% Africans, but they go along with the deception. They don't want to be their own person. It's like saying, let's say, if crack was considered to be a good drug and folks start smoking it, even though they know it's going to kill them, jumping a cliff will kill you, and you still do it because everybody wants you to do it. And if you don't, you get called chicken and everything. That's exactly what's going on. So these people are hypocrites. If they advocate, they don't believe in mixed race mixing, and they 100% black when they're not. uh they're being a hypocrite when they call you a mud and everything. They're mutts just like you. We are mutts. We're not pure black. Like I said, we want to go to the looks. When I look in that mirror, I don't see a dark brown skin man. Okay, I see a camera skin person because I know they came from someone from mixing that happened a long time ago, and that's why I'm behind is here today. My parents are not 100% black. Anybody that's 100% black is a person that got nothing in them. That's not black. It had to be 100% no at all. So a lot of people don't understand that. So when these folks who say they're who make fun of you because you're mixed, they're making fun themselves. And if they do look pure black and got something in them, they're not pure black either, because somebody in their background, their mama, their dad, their cousin, grandma, grandfather, their uncle, uncle do not look like them. Get that point? They have different shades in their background too. It's just called people because society wants them to. They're being enslaved, mentally enslaved to society. They don't want to stand up and say, "Excuse me, I ain't gonna lie for you." Yeah, I lie, because one thing about me, I ain't gonna lie for nobody but myself. So if I want to lie for something, I lie for myself. I ain't lie for you. You ain't that special. You know what I'm saying? I put my own soul at risk for doing that. But don't be folks go along with the session because they get validation for it. And that validation ain't like $1 million or nothing. But even if it was, I ain't gonna lie for no money. You know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of this going on. And if multiracial people or who so-called first generation people stand up and stop going along with the lie and stop cutting the tree by the branch or the limb, you cut the tree by the root so it won't grow. That's how I am. I ain't gonna cut no tree by the limb or the branch. I'm gonna get to the root. It's like getting weeds. You know what I'm saying? You cut it by get rid of the weeds, pull the weeds out the garden. It's not gonna grow. But you continue to cut by the limb and everything, and the stem and everything else. It's gonna continue to grow. So you had to do this exactly what this problem is. You need to address a system that these people, your family, if they're consider themselves black and they're from here, they're not 100% black. They have different shades in their family, because I know not everybody has dark brown in their family. Your parent is not pure black. Your mama is not pure black. Or the daddy is not pure black. You cut the tree by the root and you tell it like it is. And if you don't, you know what I'm saying, you're not the only mixed race person in the world. So, you know, well, that's what I'm getting tired of hearing. That people say, well, I'm getting these black folks, you know what I'm saying, this and that. But the black folks are not pure black in this country. They're part white and part Native American too. Because if it wasn't for the other races in them, they wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted just to let y'all know that black versus mixed stuff is stupid. These mutts who claim to be pure black, and I'm calling the people who mutts, who say they're all black and they pro black and fists in their air, they ass, excuse me for language, is not pure black. You know what I'm saying? If they went to Africa, they don't even know what tribe. You know what I'm saying? And the Africans probably look at them crazy. Who is this person here? I never forget an African girl did to me. I said, we African. And she said, what? You African? For real. I'm not lying. An African woman, when I was in Job Corps, she was from Kenya. She did me crazy. And me and his brother said, yeah, because they gave our ancestors away in slavery. Because it's true. Because they did slave each other. They gave us, and I said, yeah, they gave us our white ancestors, and that's how we got mixed up. They don't know. You know what I'm saying? And that's the truth. That's the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we're part European, part many of us are part European, part Native American. Okay, besides African, and that's why I advocate on that. That's who I am because I got here. Okay, I'm not gonna claim to be pure something when I'm not. Okay, regardless if folks don't like it, who feel uncomfortable, they can't take the truth. That's not my problem. That's their problem. So that's all I wanted to say on this video. Um, so I hope that the education. So anytime a person started making fun and saying, well, "I don't like a mixed breeds and I want to mix breed my family," and you ask them, "What part of Africa you're from?" Ask them, why are your children different shades? Why your mama different shade than you? Your grandma? Why you have different hair textures? Why you have different features? I always do that to people. Why, you know what I'm saying? Well, they say we all know. I don't care what the white man say. The white man not God. One thing we gotta stop treating you. One thing I don't think these folks have a love and hate relationship with white folks. They say they hate white people, they let white people decide what their identity is, which is no different than being a slave. You know what I'm saying? They don't like and like I always tell people, if white folks didn't like the fact that we mix with white, then tell them go to their great grandfather's grave and spit on it, shit on, excuse me, pee on it, whatever, because it's not our fault that they create that. Because besides Africans, that we wouldn't be here besides their sperm and DNA. Okay, let's get that straight. With the Native Americans as well, because the slaves ran to Native American communities, and that's how we have Native American, in us as well. So that's all I have to say. And I do check 3 boxes, or check 2 races or more. I'm not gonna check 100% black. And I always tell people, if you want to see a pure black person, go to Africa. Go to African immigrant. That's who a pure black 910 you see a pure black person from. There are mixed people in Africa, yes, but majority of the Africans, especially if they're from tribes and they're not get racially mixed, they're not team pure black. So they can teach you more about pure blacks than that because I don't know nothing about being pure black. Okay, this culture, black American culture, is not even African. They don't speak English. And, the original language in Africa is not English. Okay, Albanics or soul food and all that. No, that's not even, please. Soul music, remember, hip hop. That's not in Africa. You know what I'm saying? They didn't originate from Africa. So let's be rock and roll. Yeah, it's created by people African American descent who are mixed up, but in Africa, no, it didn't come from Africa. Okay, so even gospel music didn't come from Africa. I mean, let's be real. Okay, so I had to be real with you. So I'm not gonna sit here and play foolish games with people just to please people. They don't like what they see, they like what I hear. Don't talk about my channel, don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? So that's my point. So anytime, make sure the person, then y'all know if you come from so-called so-called first racial mixing and someone in African descent who's multi-generational mixed like I am, start making fun of you before being mixed, just tell them who they are as well, cause they're not pure black. And I don't care what society say they are. Society can say crack is good. Are you gonna smoke it? I don't think so. So you gonna jump the Statue of Liberty just because society say it's cool? You gotta be your own person, and that's how I live. I live by the example. I'm my own person. I'm tired following out with trends. I choose trouble. That's on my business. But to make someone making me do it, no. Mm-mm. That's all I have to say. Bye bye. Have a nice day.